Qatar has dismissed a list of demands issued by the Arab states that have cut ties with Doha as unreasonable. Doha says the list was under review out of respect for regional security, but the demands were not actionable. An official response shall be presented by the Qatari government in due course. Saudi Arabia and its allies have asked Qatar to shut down the Al Jazeera news network, among other preconditions, including cutting ties with Iran. The demands also include the closure of a Turkish base in Qatar, which Ankara has rejected. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, and Egypt severed diplomatic and commercial ties with Qatar earlier this month, accusing Doha of fomenting regional unrest and supporting terrorism. Qatar denies the allegations. For more on this issue, we're joined by Jason Unruhe, political commentator and analyst out of Ontario. Mr. Unruhe, thank you very much for being with us. So, among the demands, what's your take on the Arab allies' expectations for Qatar to cut ties with Iran and stop supporting the Palestinian resistance against Israel?
Well, frankly, the demands that have been placed upon them are simply ridiculous. I mean, they're things that completely violate the sovereignty of Doha to choose to have relations with whoever it is that they choose to have them with, especially terribly oppressed people such as the Palestinians. Even asking them to shut down Al Jazeera is complete and utter nonsense. The public broadcaster has a right to publish their opinion, their viewpoint, and their issues. I mean, this is a right that every single country should have, and they're being simply unreasonable by demanding that they shut them down. As for any connections to the Muslim Brotherhood, that's their choice to make. If they support a position that the Muslim Brotherhood does, then that's their right to do so. But this claim of Qatar supporting terrorism is frankly facetious, coming from someone such as Saudi Arabia,
Mr.
a country
Unruhe,
which...
I'm sorry to interrupt you. What about cutting ties with Iran and not supporting the Palestinian resistance? What's your take on that specifically?
It's simply nonsense. The Palestinians are a completely vulnerable group that currently have frankly, what many people describe as a genocide going against them at this time. They're some of the most vulnerable people in the entire world. And if Saudi Arabia wishes to speak of Islamic Brotherhood, why don't they support their brothers who are being tortured by Israel? And as for Iran, Qatar has every right to have relations with whatever country that they wish. If they have peaceful relations, then peaceful relations should be the order of the day. Does not Saudi Arabia continually talk about wanting stability in the Middle East? There is a stable relationship between Qatar and Iran, but it seems that Saudi Arabia is more interested in disrupting that rather than promoting a generalized stability throughout the Middle East.
Excellent point, Mr. Unruhe. How do you think Saudi Arabia and its allies are going to react to Qatar dismissing their demands?
Well, I think they're definitely going to be even more unreasonable. They believe that they have Qatar over a barrel, where they must absolutely answer to whatever it is that the regional Gulf states are demanding of them. It remains to be seen exactly how far they're willing to go, but this has been a major contentious issue. Could possibly accelerate into even greater demands, or they may realize that they're not going to win with this kind of bullying tactic against Qatar, and may decide to reduce them. I mean, as it stands right now, they're asking for far too much, and it's simply unreasonable to ask them to not even engage in public broadcasting, and they're frankly violating Qatar's right to have relations with whomever they choose. But Saudi Arabia is known for sometimes overreacting, sometimes underreacting, but I really think that there might be some serious blowback. I believe that they are very serious about carrying this out against Doha.
Okay, thank you very much. Jason Unruhe out of Ontario. He's a political commentator and analyst. Thank you for being with us.